In today's episode of Dawid Buys Random Crap on the Internet, we're gonna have a look at a 6-core Deep Cooling Laptop Coorel. So I'm gonna open it up, we're gonna have a bit of a giggle, and then we're gonna test it to see how well it actually works as a laptop Coorel with those 6 cores of deep cooling power. Now this Coorel has many features. It's got notebook, multi-angle adjustment, RGB cool light, game equipment, and rapid cooling. This amazing feature list continues on the back with 6 fans, multi-gear wind adjustment, and ergonomic design. For those of you that have problems with skid marks, it's got a foldable anti-skid baffle, which is very useful. It's also got a collecting mobile phone holder. So I wonder if that also charges your phone. I'm pretty curious to see that. And it's also got an LCD decoration. Ooh, very minimally packed. There's not much going on here. We do have a braided cable, which is something I think they're very excited about somewhere in the marketing online as well. And then here is the all-powerful 6-core laptop Coorel. Now the first thing that you'd notice is it does feel a lot like a toy that you'd get in like cereal. Not very well built. Now down here we do have the skid marks which hold your laptop in place, and then the decorative LCD, so that'll help you control the thing, I guess. I'm interested to see what kind of options you have. On the top of the Coorel we do have the double USB ports, and there aren't any other ones. Yeah, so those are the 2 that you get. And then you can kind of pop it open like that, and it gives you like a hinge with a bit of a metal arm. And then that way you can like set it up at various heights. You know, there's a reasonable range. And then down in the bottom, we have the 6 cores of cooling power, which are a bit worrying. Smaller fans tend to be noisy because they need to work harder to move a similar amount of air as a big, slower fan, which means that these small fans down here could potentially be very noisy. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that works. Yeah, let's pop a laptop on here and switch it on. I'm guessing you just kind of take your laptop and then slide it in like that. It sits quite nicely. It is quite wobbly, and that's in its lowest setting. So like if you like lift it up like this, like, oh, first off, the laptop barely sits on the skid marks. And then, I mean, it's not significantly more wobbly, but okay, let's switch it on. Yes, you plug it into the back. Let me actually put it further down again. So then you power up the laptop and hey, there we go. We've got some lighting. It's currently on its medium setting and it's quite noisy. But remember, laptops are like furnace hell banshee screamers. So you probably wouldn't be able to hear the actual stand over the laptop's moans. That's the max setting. It's a little bit more noisy, but it's still, again, it's not noisier than a laptop at load, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then that's the lowest setting. It does not, oh wow, my cat is sneezing viciously. Yo, those fans move like no air. I don't know how much this thing's actually gonna help. But anyway, so that's the fan settings that you have. And then you've also got some lighting options, which now it's just on like normal RGB. That looks like faster RGB maybe. And then just solid red, solid green, solid blue. And then like a slow fade. And then gamer mode. Okay, that's it. So it's got very basic RGB functionality, but again, it's a laptop stand. Like, how much RGB do you really need on it? So with that, let's see how much of a difference it makes to the gaming temperatures for this Razer Blade. A laptop which I think is going to be quite a difficult test, considering how restricted the ventilation is on the bottom of the unit. Little baby fans. Now in terms of testing, it's going to be really straightforward. I'm going to use configurations ranging from having the laptop just flat on the table all the way up to it being on the stand with max fan power. Now the test scenario is going to be Battlefield 5. I'm going to do 20-minute stints, at which point I'll start screen capture so that we can see what the laptop's doing at that point in the gaming session. Yeah, other than that, I'll also let the laptop cool down in between stints because this Razer Blade is a fetishistically hot running laptop. So yeah, I think giving it a break in between tests wouldn't be a bad idea. And yeah, with that, let's see how it works. With the laptop flat on the table and some semi-consensual fan choking action, you can see that the CPU is not doing well, sitting in the low 90s, occasionally dipping below 3 GHz. Although the graphics card's not doing too bad at about 80 degrees Celsius. Next up, I decided to wedge a tripod mount underneath the laptop, which helps to lift it off the table a little bit. This kind of helped, I guess. The CPU temperatures are maybe a couple of degrees Celsius lower with the same frequency, but the graphics card does seem to be boosting slightly more aggressively. Now moving over to the laptop stand on fan setting number 2, which has actually made a bit of a difference. We're still getting in the high 80s on the CPU, but the boost frequency is a bit higher, and the graphics card is sitting in the mid 70s now with an even more aggressive boost frequency. Next up, cranking the cooler up to 9,000 with max power. Doesn't really seem to make much of a difference. It's still a similar boost frequency and temperature range as the lower settings, which made me think maybe the fans aren't really doing anything, and the reason that we were getting better performance was just because we've raised the laptop off the table with a bit of mesh. So I unplugged the thing and wow, apparently the fans do actually make a bit of a difference. So at the end of the day, it's not gonna aggravate your crabs or anything. It fulfills its basic purpose as a laptop Coorel. I mean, barely, but it does. But I'd kind of hope that it would, right? Considering that it's just like a bit of mesh with fans underneath that you put a laptop on. Like, you'd really hope that that would help the laptop's temperatures. Actually, on that note, I wonder how like a Noctua version of the laptop Coorel would perform. Let me know down in the comment section below if you think I should make one, if you'd be interested in that. But yeah, getting back to this Ice Coorel, like, the only real problem with it is that the build quality is a little bit too Fisher-Price plasticky. But its build quality doesn't really get in the way of its like base function, so it's not a huge problem. So with that, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more videos, not like this one, but kind of similar, I guess. And yeah, until the next video, bye bye.